I'm Ali Mashadi of the Writer's Ally, your host for this free 5-day online challenge specifically designed to help you go from idea to outline. I am so happy you're here, you guys, and I am so excited about helping you to break through and get unstuck so you can finally start writing your nonfiction book. Today is day one. Now, over the next few days, I'm going to give you some actionable advice to get you thinking about your book in different ways that's going to help you create a strong, engaging outline that will reach the right readers and support your business goals. My goal is for you to draft an outline that energizes you and makes you feel so excited to start writing, and my job is to help you get there. So today, we're going to start with what actually may be the most important tip I give you all week, and it's not even actually about your book. Surprised? Allow me to explain. When you embark on any new effort, the mindset you bring into it can support your work or undermine you and keep you stuck. The fact is, we are our own worst enemies. Of all the obstacles out there, we are the worst, getting in our own way with fears, doubts, bad habits. I promise you that you will be the reason that things get held up. You will stop yourself more than any other obstacle you might encounter on your writing journey. For example, every time you think about writing a book, you might suddenly start to worry about things like, do I really know enough to write a whole book? Will my ideas resonate with others? Are other people actually going to be interested in what I have to say? And can I really write that many words? Right? A full-length book, a short book could be 25,000 words. A full-length commercial book can be as many as 50 to 70,000 words. That's a lot of words. You may worry about these things, or you might, like so many gifted professionals, including myself, suffer from what we call imposter syndrome. You might think about things like, who am I to write a book like this? There are already books out there from experts who are so much more experienced than me and so much more awesome than I am. Why should I be writing a book? No one cares what I have to say. Nobody's going to buy my book when they can buy books by these much better, much more experienced, famous people. Does any of this sound familiar to you? I bet it does. If you've ever sat down to try writing a book before, you've probably experienced at least some of this kind of thing. Most authors do, but it's especially hard for experts like you who want to write a prescriptive nonfiction book because you're putting yourself out there in a really big way, and that can be scary. And by the way, if you've never heard that term prescriptive nonfiction before, let me define it for you. It simply means a book that promises to help the reader learn or do something like self-help, business books, health and wellness, spirituality, parenting, stuff like that. So in other words, a prescriptive nonfiction book is a nonfiction book that offers prescription. All right, anyway, these kinds of negative feelings can be very dangerous when you're trying to write a book because they can make it really easy for you to quit or to procrastinate. So when something real does come up, like your kid gets sick or your business has a setback, your willpower is already undermined and it all just falls apart. So on this first day of the challenge, the most important thing you can do for yourself is take some preventative measures to make sure you don't derail yourself and that you have some resources to keep you on track. Here's how. Step number one is commit to yourself. I estimate that watching these videos and completing the action assignments and questions of the day will take about 20 to 30 minutes every day, maybe less. I strongly suggest that you schedule this time on your calendar regularly. So every day at 4 to 4:30 or every day at, 11 to 11:30 p.m., whatever it is that works for you. Choose a time that you can commit to every single day. Put it on your calendar, put it on your schedule. And here's the key piece. Treat it like a doctor's appointment, right? Like one of those doctor's appointments where if you cancel within 48 hours, they charge you like $100, right? And then you have to wait 5 more months to reschedule, okay? What I'm getting at here is this shouldn't be something you put on the calendar and then think, you know what? I still haven't done these other things today. I'll do this later, right? I scheduled it for 4 o'clock, but let me take care of this other stuff first and I'll get to it later tonight before I get to bed. None of that. You treat it like a doctor's appointment. That means you can't miss it. You can't put it off for later. No excuses, come hell or high water, you are going to commit to keeping that appointment. Step number 2, build a writing habit. I encourage you to choose a regular space and routine, at least for the duration of the challenge. This is going to help you, first of all, make sure you finish the challenge and that you get the work done and that you get the results that you wanted, which prompted you to join this challenge in the first place. But also, this is the start of a habit I really hope that you're going to be able to continue beyond the challenge, because once you have that outline, you're going to be so excited to finally start writing that book. And I want you to be in a place where that's possible. So there might be a space in your home that you can designate as your writing space. If you're really lucky, maybe you have a home office, a place where you can go and close the door and have some privacy. But, it could also be a kitchen counter, a dining room table, whatever works for you. We all have to be a little more flexible these days with the pandemic. Or there might be somewhere you can go outside the home that you like to go and that you can go to every day. Under normal circumstances, I might suggest something like a local cafe or coffee shop. That's probably not going to be possible for everybody right now, but maybe there's some other kind of place. Maybe your library is open and you can reserve a private room. Maybe there's an outdoor space somewhere, depending on what the weather's like where you live. Maybe it's somebody else's home. Maybe you have a friend who very generously is allowing you to come and use their office if there are a lot of distractions at your own home, right? The point is a place you can go to at your designated time and do your work for the challenge every single day. And on top of that, I want you to think about a routine. And a routine can be simple, elaborate, whatever works for you. It might be something like getting a cup of coffee or a glass of water and taking that with you into your writing space and sitting down and having a little bit of a drink and having a quiet moment before you start. If you're into meditation or visualizations, maybe you do a short exercise when you sit down in your space every day before you start to get focused and get clear. Whatever works for you, whatever you choose, make that decision and then get buy-in from others who could interrupt you, right? So your partner, your roommates, your kids, whoever it is that's in your space that could possibly interrupt you, confuse you, distract you, try to lead you astray, even with the best of intentions. You want to talk to these people. Tell them what you're doing. Tell them about this challenge. Tell them about your book. And tell them why it's important to you. Help them really understand the emotional value, the financial value, why this book and why this challenge really, really matters. It's not just some random thing, right? It's not just some TV show that you're watching. This is important. This is an opportunity for you to take advantage of. Tell them about it, get them to understand, and set the boundaries that you need to make sure you keep your commitment to yourself. So if that means when you hang a sock on the door, nobody comes into your office until it's off, or maybe they just know what the time is, maybe every day at 4 to 4:30, they know that even though you're sitting at the kitchen counter, you are not to be disturbed. Maybe it means that your partner leaves the house for that period of time to give you total privacy and goes for a walk or takes the kids to a park or something like that. Get that buy-in to really help make sure that you are able to keep the commitments and the routines that you've set for yourself. Step number 3, leverage the power of the sticky. Now, if you could see my monitor in my office, you would see several sticky notes in different colors all around my monitor and my desk, and they all feature little motivational notes to myself. Some are quotes that I've heard that I find really inspiring. Some are just reminders, right? They're just things that I need to keep in mind that help me to stay focused. For example, I have one that says, you can do anything, but not everything, right? I have a tendency to be very ambitious and try and do a lot of stuff at once. When I look at that note, it reminds me to stay focused and it keeps me motivated, right? I keep them where I see them and where I need them the most. Now, I encourage you to do something similar. If your writing space is just temporary for the challenge, sticky notes are a great option because you can literally just move them around. Or you can decorate your space a little bit more if you're lucky enough, again, to have an office or a permanent space. Perhaps hang some posters or some art on the wall. There's tons of motivational posters. There are tons of canvases and things like that that you can order that have quotes and sayings and things on them that are very motivational for writers or just for people in general. You could even take a couple of books. You know, if there's a book that really inspired you, that really had a profound impact on you, that, you know, maybe that's the book that you read and you thought, that's it. This book is awesome. I want to write a book like this. If you have some stuff like that, take those books into your space, stack them up where you can see them. The point is to have something, whether it's a sticky note or something else, that can serve as a mindset booster. Something that every time you look at it, it reminds you of your goals, of writing a book, why it's important to you, and helps to make you feel that little surge of motivation when you need it most. Now, some of this may seem simple or unimportant. I promise you, if you don't do these things, your ability to successfully complete this challenge, let alone your book, is at risk, right? I cannot overstate the importance of cultivating a positive mindset and forming good habits around your writing work, especially for the duration of this challenge. Okay, everyone. That's it for today. Great job on taking the first step on this first day of the challenge. Now it's time to take action. So go back to today's email for your action assignment and question of the day. And remember, you must post your answer to the question of the day in our Facebook group in the designated thread to qualify to win prizes. And the email has much more specific instruction on precisely how to do that. So just go back to your day one email and read it through and just follow the steps and the instructions. And I hope to see you in the Facebook group.